Hey folks, hope you're doing well out there. Welcome back to Integrative Psychonautics. My name is Dave for anyone who's new to the channel here. So in today's video, I want to introduce you to an idea that I've never heard described anywhere else. This is just an observational piece of information that I'm taking from all my coaching sessions and what's starting to be a pattern that I'm seeing over and over with people. And this is what I would describe as what's called an emergency emotion. So this is something I'm going to unpack for you, help you understand a bit, and help you think about for yourself. And so if this interests you, please join me. Okay, so this will probably end up being a shorter video because, to be honest, it's a pretty straightforward, simple concept that I think once you get it, you'll understand right away. And I don't need to necessarily wax poetic for a long time over this. So let me just give a little bit of context here. I'll explain the idea, and that'll be that. Okay, so for context, I work as a coach and as a hypnotherapist, right? I'm sure you know that if you're following this channel. And most of my clients, are kind of in the context of wanting to work with psychedelics for their own personal healing or personal development process, whatever that is. Getting over old issues, healing stuff from the past, growing forward, developing a new vision for themselves, overcoming blocks and obstacles, these kinds of things, right? Because of the nature of the work that I do and because it can go pretty deep, we often end up talking about or working with kind of deep questions about life, deep issues, deep feelings, deep concerns, right? And one of the things I've found over and over and over, especially when I'm helping people to process emotions and process, perhaps old issues that never got completely processed or complete stuff from the past, this kind of a thing, which involves really leaning into working with whatever is there that needs dealing with, whether, that's a big emotion of some sort or a fear or a need that we've been ignoring or what have you. What I notice over and over and over is that for each of us, there seems to be what I would call, every client seems to hit an emergency emotion, right? So I'll teach my clients how to process whatever's going on for themselves. I'll teach them how to essentially self-heal, self-regulate, work through the knots that come from whatever traumatic imprints they may have gone through or traumatic experiences they may have gone through. And my clients are amazing. I adore my clients. And almost always they're like, sure, no problem. Great. Yeah, I can handle this. I'm ready for that. Let's go. And there's so much like courage and gung-ho, like willingness. And then inevitably we get to one emotion that for the client, it's like, that's the emotion where they go, what do I do with that? I don't know how, okay, I've processed all these other emotions, all these other ways, but that one, I don't know. I don't know how to deal with that, or I don't know what to do with that. And they have this moment of feeling ungrounded, nervous, trepidatious, afraid to process, or they feel like this one is different, right? And this is what I would call your emergency emotion. What is the emotion that when it's present that you have to deal with, that it feels like an emergency? It feels like an oh shit, or like, uh-oh, I can't, And for different people, what I've noticed is it could be a wide variety of things. It really could be any emotion. It could be fear. It could be terror. It could be grief. It could be anger. It could be joy, I've seen that even. It could be, questioning oneself and feeling uncertain or confused. What I noticed, again, is for each of my clients, for each of us, there is that emotion that we're cool with everything else. But when it comes to that, it's like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can really regulate that. I don't know if I can really process that, and it feels daunting or somehow more, right? And so first reason to bring this up is just to let you know that this is a thing. And again, I don't know. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't know if this is actually a known thing in the therapy literature and there's a name for it and I'm just not aware of it. So if you are a therapist out there and you know of what I'm speaking about, feel free to, point me to a link or drop the term or whatever in the comments below. But I've never, in all my studies of different therapeutic modalities and approaches to working with people, whether it's coaching or hypnosis or all the other therapy modalities and books I'm reading, I've never heard of this as being a thing, but it's very clearly a thing that I see. And what I would say to all of you is, first of all, I'd ask you, what do you think that is for you? What is this emergency emotion in your case? What's the one thing you're unwilling to feel or get close to, or when the proposition of that emotion comes up, it really puts you on your back foot and you're feeling really nervous and trepidatious about dealing with it? I think it's important to be aware of this as a thing and to be self-aware. Oh, I don't feel so comfortable with confusion or with emotional connection and emotional vulnerability, or with terror. Terror is too much for me, or, grief is too much for me, or guilt is too, whatever it is. Being self-aware of that is super, super key and important. So what is it for you, right? And then the other thing I would add here on top of that is I would just suggest to you that ultimately, in my experience so far, maybe I'm wrong, but in all the work I'm doing with clients, which is, again, some very deep, profound work with people, it's the same. The approach is the same. It doesn't matter, what the emotion is. The regulating through that emotion is the same. It doesn't matter if it's sadness or grief or anger. When you understand how to properly regulate emotions, there doesn't have to be an emergency around it, right? And this ties into a larger theme I'll probably talk about at a later date, which is how often it's actually the fear of processing that is bigger than the actual experience of processing whatever it is that needs healing, and how much this stops us from actually growing and healing. It's actually amazing how much it's the fear of processing, not the processing itself, that's the real problem. That's another topic for another day. So yeah, my question to you, what do you think is your emergency emotion or emotions? There may be more than one, right? How does that hold you back from growth or from healing or from transforming your life? And what if you really knew, and this might be something you have to experience to really fully buy into, but what if you really knew that processing all emotions is really the same thing and the same skill, and that if you can process one emotion that's a little hard, you can process them all? What if you knew that, and that there was no emergency emotion? How would that change things for you? Okay, much love to you. Thank you for watching. I'm going to just end the video here because it's just a quick point I want to make. But let me know what you think. Please do the usual YouTube stuff here to help the channel grow. I love seeing the numbers go up of subscribers, mostly not because I'm into vanity metrics. Frankly, I'm already, I have a full client load, and I'm very personally met, spiritually met by my work. So it's not about that. But I love seeing the number go up because it means that the message is getting out there and that there's something of value here. So, if you're new to the channel, do the YouTube stuff. If this resonates for you, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe if you really want to follow my content, because there's tons more that I have to say and share. Anyways, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Do you resonate with this? Do you have an emergency emotion that you're aware of? Do you have a sense that you probably do, but you don't know what it is yet? I'd love to know what your perspective on this idea is. Again, this is something that I'm just observing. I haven't seen anything in the literature about it. It's just a phenomenon that I notice over and over. Okay, much love to you. Take care. New videos on the way soon.